we're businesses. We're everybody's a business. This is just one of the mediums that we're putting ourselves out there. If you can put yourself in that mental place and say, you know what, let me just really have a plan and go with it. You can make it work.
Yeah.
Don't just be out here spinning wheels though. Like, have a plan.
Right. Too pleased that the community actually came through with 1 million points. Hey, BOHFlex with the raid. What's up, dude? That is how you introduce yourself, Mr. BOHFlex. You can come on every freaking stream if you're gonna raid me when you come in like that. But anyway, we got Bo in the building.
This is such a honor to be able to hop on here. Like, after I heard about you from Brother Darkness. Shout out Brother Darkness. I literally like ran through your whole YouTube. I was like,
oh, don't look at the old videos. Please don't look at the old videos.
I was a little late for that. It's a little late for that.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about you, who you are, what you do, and then we'll get into it.
I'm nobody, man.
All right, that was easy.
No. You know, keep it simple. No, I'm BOHFlex. I'm a 34-year-old streamer from Baltimore. Husband, father. I work in nonprofit work in my IRL, my day-to-day. And then by night, I try and I'm very ambitious when it comes to the streaming stuff. So I got a big vision I'm trying to make happen. And I've really used my stream to more so document my attempt at this giant undertaking, if you will. For those who don't know, like my name BOHFlex, I rap. I still rap now. I rapped before, and then the flex part came in because I worked for like 10 years in the fitness industry. But outside of just being a trainer and managing training teams, part of what I did was actually overhaul different gyms. And they're kind of like what Gordon Ramsay does with restaurants. I would do that with gyms. So I really cut my teeth figuring out like brand identities, building that brand identity, getting a culture surrounding something, and then, you know, blowing it up from the inside out. I'm now taking that and applying it to the nonprofit world, which is, it's cool because it's actually going for a cause and not just padding somebody's pockets.
When you're working for a company in any aspect and you get into streaming, at least for me, it was like, I got in here and I'm realizing, oh, yes, it's a different medium that I'm used to working in, but the rules of business and the rules of owning a business are the same. It doesn't matter what it is. In this case, in streaming, what you're selling is your stream, your content is the product that you're selling. A lot of rules for business, everything go right along with it. And I think that maybe analogy will help people understand that.
Let's keep it real. I was able to slide into this so much easier and look at it from like a different aspect because it's the numbers game now becomes law of averages, right? I'll go live, and then at the end of the stream, I could go into my dashboard and look at how many live notifications did people get, how many people engaged with it. And you can start, you know, going backwards from there. Okay, well, how many people do I need to get exposed to my content to get to 10 views, to get to 20 views, to get to 30 views?
Right.
Yeah, but that's having a business approach to it. If you fight it off and you try and say, well, like, this is a hobby, this is my love, this is my passion.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do that if you want, but yeah, you can't avoid this conversation.
I'll have these kind of conversations on stream, and people are like, well, I just got into this because of the emote, so I just want to make a few bucks. And I tell them, like, that's cool if that's what you want to do. My advice is to a specific niche of streamers, and if what I'm saying doesn't resonate for you, or if you think that I'm going too far for you, that's fine. That just means this isn't for you, you know?
Yep.
And so I used to try to change my message, and I'm like, no. I know, and after it took me a while to realize, to have that confidence, I know exactly what I want to do, exactly who I want to talk to. I'm not going to alter that because some people, it doesn't resonate with them. It's fine. There are other streamers out there for you. That's the thing. I think I saw something today. Twitch is getting very close to having 10 million streamers, unique streamers every month now. 10 million.
Yeah.
If you don't like what I am saying, there are 9,999,000 people out there you can go listen to. Maybe one of them is the better fit for you. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
We're businesses. We're everybody's a business. This is just one of the mediums that we're putting ourselves out there. If you can put yourself in that mental place and say, you know what, let me just really have a plan and go with it. You can make it work.
Yeah.
Don't just be out here spinning wheels though. Like, have a plan.
Right. When you are doing streaming as a job or whatever, it's usually just you. Whether you have mods or not, you're the one who's dealing with all of the shit. You're the one who's responsible for like I just like you. I got to make sure that I find guests, that I vet guests, that I schedule and book them on here, that I'm creating my overlays, that I'm setting up stream, that I'm like, you're doing everything. You know, there's and again, even if you have mods who are helping you out, you know, you're still doing a lot and you are responsible for everything. Before, when you get into streaming, first thing that I always tell people to do is you got to figure out what's your motivation. Why do you want to become a streamer? And what are their goals, and how do you plan on achieving those goals? Because my feeling is, if you don't know why you're getting into this thing, then you aren't going to be successful because you'll have no direction.
I think because so many people don't spend as much time figuring out, like before getting into streaming, they didn't figure out who they were. They didn't really know what they wanted, what they don't like at their core, what they really like, what they don't like. If I think it was promoted in a larger sense, don't try and get partner your first year. And everybody starts and thinks that they're going to be the guy that everybody wants to watch, and suddenly you blow up. People just don't take their time with it.
There's a good message here from Xeno Queen. It says that people who go in for the love of it end up getting further, because when you love what you do, you always find the time to do it. And I think that is a really great statement. Like if we were saying before, when you go in, if your initial goal is I want to make partner, then you're going to probably try to go get to that by any means necessary, but you're not necessarily establishing yourself or establishing something you want to do first that's going to allow you to feel comfortable with it.
Where there's a definite ecosystem that exists here, right? And everybody's it kind of goes back to like before money was the currency, right? It's a trade. Like, what do you have that you can invest in me? What do I have that I can invest in you?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, you're going to get some notoriety if you can be good at a skill.
Yeah.
Right. But the people who are really successful are the ones who are able to teach people how to be better at whatever skills.
Right.
There's guys like, Nutty. I know we've talked about Nutty. This guy Nutty literally will just sit on stream for 3 hours, 4 hours and do nothing but break his OBS.
Yeah.
In the most insane ways.
Yeah.
But because that's his lane, he can teach you about it. He's got a ridiculous following for it. I told you, you got a dope following for it, and you're still talking about like you just got into this. That's mind blowing to me.
The next thing I like to talk to people about, and this can kind of go into multiple, a few different order, and there's like 3 separate topics. There's like branding yourself, there's marketing, and then there's networking. And I know that people don't like hearing the network. You said that you don't like hearing the word networking.
It's a very triggering word. Like, I immediately felt the hair, what little hair I have left, stand up.
Any business, when they have their product, we've already established that your stream or your VODs that you're making for YouTube are your product. If Nike makes a new sneaker and they don't tell anybody about it, do you think they're going to sell any pairs of that sneaker? Of course not. They're going to make ads for that sneaker where they're going to have their logo plastered everywhere, and you see the Nike logo, you have either good feelings or bad feelings. If you have a good feeling, and it's because you've had a pair of Nikes in the past and you know that it's quality, or if you don't like it, it's because you had an opposite experience. But whatever it is, you see their logo, you see their ads, and their ads are everywhere because they want you to buy the shoe. And you say, well, why do they make advertising if they're a worldwide brand? Because people have very short memories, even for big companies like that. If they stop advertising, you'll think they went out of business or something. So you have to create a way to get people to know who you are, to understand your value and what you can offer them. And then you have to constantly remind people that, hey, I still exist, and this is what I do. Like you were telling me, for TikToks, you like to make clips from your stream. And I think that is so smart, because if you're only doing trending videos, right, and you never show people from your stream, like clips from your stream, they don't know what your stream is like, and most people like aren't going to come to your Twitch stream. Yep. So if people don't have an idea of what you do, if you can't show them what you're doing in TikTok, they're probably going to be, no offense to anybody, but they're going to be too lazy to come and actually watch your streams. So you have to throw that out there. You have to give them, hey, this is what I'm doing on stream, and not just all the funny moments either. Like if you have anything where you're educating people, like I know Bo does, like I do, I try to throw some of that in there too, so you have a good, well-rounded vision of what I do. Branding yourself, like I mentioned a little bit ago, is all about telling people who you are and like what you offer them, and like why they should choose you over the next streamer. And it's I think it's kind of a hard concept for people to understand. A lot of times when people think branding, they just strictly thinking, oh, it's my logo or something like that. Yeah. And that's part of it, right? But it's not all about that. You know, like when you're on social media, when you're on Twitch, like you're creating a presence. Like people always say, you know, make sure all your videos are in the niche. That's because you're trying to establish, like, this is what I do, this is who I am. So when people hear the name BOHFlex, they know, okay, no matter where they see the name, where they hear the name, they already have a picture of who you are and what you do, and that's what you want.
It takes a really long time to establish it. I think the more that you're able to put yourself out there, the more of those touch points and those exposure points, that's going to speed up people understanding, you know, what is the Morph brand? What does it represent? Who are the people that make that community? And do I fit into that?
Marketing is fairly straightforward, and it doesn't mean just like running ads. Marketing really, in this case, it's not going to be like those regular ads, right? It's going to be all of your posting on social media. That's really how we as streamers and content creators market ourselves. And there are a lot of platforms to use. I don't need to go through them all. You know what they are. So when you're making posts on social media, one thing that you always hear too, and hopefully this doesn't trigger anyone that doesn't like to hear this kind of streamer advice. You want to tailor your content to your niche as best as you can. And because like I said, that gives people an idea of who you are, what you do, and gives them a taste of why they should come to your stream or watch your YouTube videos or whatever it is.
Be true to who you are. Be true to the core of your content, but don't do nothing that's too outside of you. Don't do nothing that you don't want to continually do for the rest of your Twitch career.
So Zulawitch asked the question related to networking. Does networking refer to making connections with other streamers, or is there networking beyond that?
It goes way beyond that. I mean, networking doesn't serve just one purpose. Networking, if you know business, means something different from networking if you've never worked in business. When we say networking, we're not saying go make friends.
Right.
You don't make friends per se in business when you're networking, but what you are doing is searching for like a like mind that has something that you guys can, you know, something tangible that you guys can give each other. And you know, most people can't do that without being douchey about it.
Right.
So just go on YouTube and watch a couple of some basic business videos. You'll see so much that parallels at even our most basic level in streaming. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. This has been done for years and years.
Right.
We're just doing it in a virtual sense.
Right. Now you have a good base of where you can establish yourself as a content creator, as a streamer. And now you need to get into actually creating content, and you need to start thinking about the monetization aspect. If we say that your stream and your videos are your product, then content creation is the process of creating your product. But if you fuck this part up, you're not going to be able to get very far. So what I want to know, what I always ask people is, like, what is your process or your philosophy around creating content?
Well, my philosophy now is everything is content. Everything is
content, and you have to look at it that way. Is you have a lot of places to post, and if you're streaming or if you're creating YouTube videos or both, that's a lot of content you got to put out there. And we're not talking like you're making one video a week or doing one stream a week. You're probably streaming multiple times a week. You're probably putting multiple videos out there. You're posting. I know you're posting on TikTok every day, so people have to, like, you need a ton of content, a ton of it. So you need to look at, like, when I create my streams, I know that my stream is going to be most likely ripped down into a YouTube video. and it's going to turn into probably 15 different TikToks or something else, you know. So I try to use every bit of piece of this for content on all the various platforms, and like a lot goes into it.
You know what, I from just even the stuff that I've seen in your stream and the people that I know that you watch, there's a tier that you almost aim at, right? Like, so you got a lot of good streamers that are trying to be good. They're trying to be proficient at the performance element of it, right? All the production value. But then there's like this tier of streamers that when you get into trying to teach it to other people, that's a level of mastery of it. So you're not just dipping your toe in. You're going all in and really figuring out all the inner workings of this and how it fits into, you know, your own little streaming ecosystem, all your moving pieces that you have, and then teaching it off to somebody else. Once you're able to actually have somebody else grow or learn off of what you're doing, that level of understanding of what we're doing, you can't take that away. You can't lose that, and you're going to be able to make so much more off of it. Maybe not in streaming. It's going to transfer more to the real world.
Yeah, that's a conversation of itself, you know. Applying lessons from streaming to the IRL, and you know, even if you don't get to the level of success that you want doing this, you will find that you picked up valuable life skills that will make you better. I don't really need to get too much into monetization, like how you get monetized on different platforms and all this stuff. What I want to talk about, though, in terms of like the financial part, is when you want to go full time, the money part is a big deal. Understanding the expenses is a big deal. Understanding what you need to spend IRL to support your life the same way that you do when you had a 9-to-5 job is a big deal. You can't just quit a job and expect that everything's going to go well. And you know, you guys all heard about or saw the streamer payout leak from, I think, back in October. It was 2 years of salary. Remember, they're still paying taxes out of that too. Yeah, it is not what you think it is.
I question sometimes, like, what level of reality they're basing this decision to go full time in. I don't know if we're in the same reality.
I don't think we are. I think a lot of people, because you know what, you see a lot of streaming advice, a lot of like, this is how you make partner. What you see hardly ever is, how do you get a sponsorship? Because I don't know if people realize this. I'm gonna tell you something. The money that most big streamers make from sponsorships is 5 to 8 times more money than they make on Twitch. So it's not about the money you make on Twitch is good. The money you make from sponsorship can be amazing. You also, that's another part of this whole thing that goes into it. You have to make sure that your content is friendly for the sponsor you want to get to. If you want to work with a sponsor that is more of a family friendly kind of brand, you can't be dropping the F-bomb every other word, because they're like, we can't market you. You are not going to work with our demographic. You have to think about that when you're going forward. If you want to work with Elgato, but you're all over like Logitech gear, why would Elgato want to sponsor you? Like, you have to plan this. You plan this out. And when you're thinking about that sponsorship, remember, it's a business deal for them. It's a business deal for them. They're going to give you money every month or quarterly, whatever it is, if they feel that the money they give you will be returned to them 2 to 5 times, right? Mm-hmm. So if they're going to give you $1,000 a month, they're assuming that you're going to generate up to $5,000 of revenue for them a month. Because if you don't, why should they sponsor you? Unless you're just a giant name that just being associated with you helps them.
For most of us, it's about like, can you keep them relevant? Can you keep them in the conversation?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that people really take the time to think about like what actually being a full-time streamer means. Like the demand and the stress level that you're actually asking to take on. It's not a cakewalk.
So yeah, so the financial part is not as straightforward as you think it is. You're not going to make the money from streaming that you think it is. And again, I hate being the person that always just sounds like I'm negative or just crapping all over, you know, people's ideas. But
these are the conversations people need, though, man.
It is. And people like, oh, stop, you just be motivational. I'm like, I will be motivational when it helps, but I also have to give you the truth. And not everyone wants to hear it, but everyone needs to listen to it.
I would rather keep people from needing to be motivated.
Yeah.
I'm trying to fix a problem. If I could avoid the problem from happening, then I'm gonna just go that route.
Right.
You know?
And that's how I feel too. I feel like with me telling people the ugly truth behind a lot of this stuff, it no longer seems scary. Like you just, oh, this is how it works. Now I know the facts. Now I can work around it or make it work for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna be harassing this dude now.
And follow him.
I'm gonna be. Every time you see Morph, I'm gonna be in the background like, hey.
How the f- did you get up here? So I appreciate you coming on here. I think it was a really great conversation tonight, and this is gonna be hard to edit because there's too much good stuff. So.
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, as soon as you said like, "Yo, you trying to do it," I was like, "Bro, that say less." I'm there.
All right,
so, I appreciate you having me on, bro.
All right, take care. So I hope you guys liked the conversation that Bo and I had just had. So go check him out, go follow him everywhere, and you're gonna get a lot of great content from watching his Twitch streams as well. So I definitely encourage that. So you're branding yourself, there's your marketing yourself, and then I'm not going to say the N word. Whoa. networking.
Hey,
networking. I can say that. No. So God, that came out wrong. There's a TikTok right there.
There you go.
So yeah,
that'll get a million. That'll get a million. That'll be the one.